Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tapping Out podcast. My name is Chris and today my guest is Indigo. She is a pro wrestler, stylist, model, dancer and spiritual submitter. Finally, she is also 1/3 of the network. If you enjoy what you see during this video or podcast, as always, don't forget to leave a like and write a comment too. Both really good ways that you can help support the show. Even better than that is to subscribe as well, along with ring-a-dinging the notification bell. Thanks very much for that in advance. All right, enough talk. Let's dive right in. Indigo, thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Thanks for being on the show. Yeah, I was actually just reading through your Twitter bio, just then before joining. And one of your little quotes there, your little monikers, is the spiritual submitter. So we'll definitely get into that because of the name of the podcast, I'm sure. All right, but just some starter questions, yeah, just to kick us off. Okay, if you could have any celebrity be your best friend, which celebrity would you pick? Now, we spoke about a few names just before recording here, but I'll let you, floor's yours.
Many to choose from. Okay, I won't go wrestling. I'll go, oh my gosh, there's so many. Oh my gosh, it's between Chris Evans and Simu Liu. I'm gonna go with Simu. He just, both of them seem so fun to hang out with. Not that Chris doesn't seem down to earth. I love Chris Evans, but I want to date him. I don't want to be his friend. So I also want to date Simu, but I'm gonna go with Simu because he just seems hilarious to be around.
Did you enjoy the latest film, Shang-Chi? Did you enjoy?
Oh my gosh, that I knew nothing about that character, and going into that, I'm gonna be it's gonna be a great movie. That movie
yeah,
not changed my life, but very much affected me in a really positive way. And that is now, it's between Captain America and Winter Soldier has always been my favorite movie, but now it's I don't know, it was such a good movie.
So many people I've had the chance to speak to so far have said Captain America 2, right?
Okay.
Yeah. What else was I going to say about Shang-Chi? So yeah, it definitely exceeded my expectations. Especially we needed it after Black Widow, I think, which wasn't great.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and it's a shame, right? Because ScarJo, she'd wanted her own film for nigh on a decade, and
literally, I feel like if that movie came out after Age of Ultron or 2014, 2015, it would have been so good. We were all waiting for that movie for years, and it just I was like, what?
Yeah, and then you tried to start a new phase with it. It's what are they doing? No,
not it. This is not it.
All right, so Simu Liu, a good answer. Okay, all right. If you could live any historical figure's life, which one would you choose? Oh boy, we're getting some deep questions to kick us off here.
Oh my gosh. So I'm really, really big. I'm a history nerd. Oh my gosh. This is a great question. I would say either my mind is on JFK because I'm reading a book about him currently.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe his secretary or his wife, or maybe not someone near him. I just want to know the tea and what happened, what was going on, because I read so many books about him. But actually, okay, I'm gonna go with Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, good choice. Yeah.
There's a lot going on. I just want to know the tea. I don't want to have her tragic, obviously, history and everything. I just want to know what's going on.
The only time I ever went to America, I went to Texas, and I did get to visit, where he was shot.
Yeah.
It's pretty humbling experience, I must say. And I got to go to the nearby museum and everything to just see. And it's an awful thing, especially when they show it in the museum. They show it on repeat. I'm like, how many times can you watch it in a day before you just
we don't have to get into it, but I remember my teacher was my teacher, I had the same history teacher for 2 years. And you have teachers who like don't want to be there, but then you have teachers that like actually want to be there and then they make it fun. He went like dove into JFK and he was like, yeah, so like you can find the video. I'm not going to show it, but you could look it up. And I was like, I'm going to look it up. And I watched it and I was like, oh my God, this is awful. Holy crap. I was like, oh my God.
You can find it on TikTok nowadays. That's pretty crazy. Isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Crazy.
So JFK's secretary. Okay. All right. Oh, someone close to
nice
one. And the last one here, yeah. What blog or blog? No one says blog anymore. What website are you embarrassed to admit you love?
I am gonna go. Jesus Christ, I don't want to say it. I'm gonna go with Tumblr.
Tumblr. Interesting.
And I won't get it.
Yeah. You can explain it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm 20, right? And so that dates me. I really was into One Direction and like, stuff like that. And, like fan fiction stuff and like, stuff like that. So like, that's all I'll say. But like, that Tumblr.
What's the, if you don't mind me asking, what's the, maybe try and keep it a little, you can swear, I've said, but try and keep it a little bit PG maybe. What's the sauciest fan fiction you've ever read?
I can tell you the one that affected, it's fan fiction. So you think it's gonna be like stupid, but like there's some like good writers on there. I read this one. This one actually, like, I think last time I checked, which was years ago, it had like 7 million people that read it. It was about Harry Styles, and he was like a mental patient.
Oh boy. Okay.
And they had like all of the members of One Direction sprinkled, but obviously it's not like they're not singers. That like some were doctors, and like it was intense. Like it was very, very. It was a lot, but some of the writers are really good. And then some of them are like, I think the most common tropes are like, this sounds crazy to say 'cause it's crazy, but it's like, you like wake up and your mom is like, come downstairs, and you go downstairs and she's like, I'm selling you to One Direction because I can't afford the rent. That's that's like the most basic trope, which is crazy. So
all right.
There's a wide variety of stories on there.
And on a past podcast, we brought up an interesting quote. I was talking to a screenplay writer, and we found this quote online at the time from this guy. The name escapes me, but he said, "The cinema is the best. The mind is the best cinema ever, especially when you're reading a book." So when you're reading this fan fiction, did you see it all play out in your head in 4K? Yeah.
4K, like 8K. And like, I think too, like I'm like into books. I feel like when you're younger, you're like, when you're forced to read, you don't like reading. But now that I'm like, can pick books I want, like I actually like reading now. But like, I used to much rather go and watch the movie. Cause like, I remember when I first started or tried to read Harry Potter, and then I watched the movie and it just ruined everything because I had completely different like what I thought everyone would look like. But yeah, it's imagination can be crazy.
I actually just one more question before, don't worry, we'll get into wrestling soon, I promise. But one more thing, I remember, and it was on Twitter, and it was like someone had developed an AI. Did you see this? I think if you type in, maybe go on like Google and just type in like Harry Potter AI for the books, right? So someone came up with an AI to decide what the characters would have looked like depending on what they looked like in the books, right? So the AI knew nothing about the films, and it's like some of them are like spot on, right? But then other ones are just ridiculous. Yeah.
That's crazy. I found one.
Oh, you got it. Okay. Yeah, he found it.
That looked really good, actually. That's so cool. I mean,
like for the one that played Filch, especially, like I'm like, this is spot on. It's the same guy.
Yeah.
But then you got like Hermione. She's got really buck teeth, which is how she's described in the book. But
oh my God, yeah. Yikes, the teeth, yeah. Ugh.
and then
That's
Ron is especially freckly, yeah, especially more so than usual.
that's so crazy.
Yeah, man, it's mental. It's mental what AIs can do nowadays, man.
Scares me a bit, honestly.
All
I don't
right.
really like. I don't like the way that we're going in terms of like. I don't know. It's scary. I feel like all the movies about like robots and AI taking over. I really don't think it's that far fetched, and like I feel like we
No.
keep making movies about it, and I feel like why are we making robots do backflips? Like, do we really need that? I don't think we need that. Like, I can't do a backflip. I just feel like maybe we should
Yeah,
quit while we're ahead.
maybe Terminator's finally maybe gonna come true one day.
Hopefully we're not here.
All right, good stuff. Well, okay, that's how we could segue into wrestling. So Terminator was in, I don't know if you ever played the WWE games, but the Terminator was a playable character in a wrestling game. There we go. That's the segue. All right, nice one. Made it. Whew. Right, okay. So Indigo, how's it been in the last 6 to 12 months for you in the world of pro wrestling? There we go. And we're in.
The last 3 weeks have been crazy, honestly.
All right,
I mean,
okay.
I wrestled Erica Lee, Ava Everett, and Nyla Rose all in the same month.
Hang on a minute, you wrestled Nyla Rose?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about that, please.
My back still hurts. That spear. She gave me that spear, and I've like people have given me spears before, but she gave me that spear, and I was like, okay, that's what a spear like feels like. Like,
did you feel like you got speared by Goldberg? Maybe, or probably even worse. Yeah,
it was so funny. I was talking to my friend, and I was like, yeah, when she speared me, I literally out loud I went oof, like it was like boom. I was like, oh wow. It was
It's a good way to sell, I guess. Yeah, just like a mat. It's like oof.
Oof. But no, I just like I feel like I've had a very, very fortunate and lucky career. Like I'm not even a year in, and I like my first match with Angelo, like I ended up wrestling a tag team that I thought I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll wrestle them in like 5 years, and then that was my first match. Like I'm wrestling people that I'd be like, oh yeah, maybe 7 years or something if I get lucky. And then it just like, I just keep getting these opportunities, and I'm so like happy and grateful. And I'm in a place now where like, I feel like a lot of 20-year-olds don't say this, where I'm not like questioning, like, do I deserve it? Or like, I'm like, yeah, no, I deserve it. Like, I feel like
confident. Yeah.
Yeah. Like things come into your life when you're ready for them. And I feel like I was talking to my trainer about it, and my trainer for one of the matches, he was like, yeah, I would have said no if you weren't ready for it. But you know, so I'm just very grateful that like all these things are happening to me, and I have the confidence to be like, no, I deserve this, and I'm like ready. So.
Yeah. And did you have a chance to speak to like Nyla Rose and your other opponents before and after the match?
Yeah. I like I don't kayfabe. Kayfabe's dead. Okay, whatever. It's
kayfabe. Undertaker's retired. Kayfabe's dead.
All of them, obviously, they were so sweet. Ava, especially because I really want to wrestle in Germany, and she was just champion in Germany. So we were just talking about that, and you know, having the opportunity to be able to wrestle people who are so good, because you know, I hear stories of trainers and other people who are a bit older than me talking about how they wrestled just dog shit matches and got like awful, went so bad. And like the fact that I'm in the ring with such good people, like every single match I have, I keep getting elevated. There hasn't been a match where I haven't learned something or taken something. Even if the match didn't go as well as I wanted it to, I still left the ring being like, okay, I can do this for next time, and I learned this. And you know, every single match, I really do feel like I'm getting better and better. And obviously, you're as good as the person you're in there with. So I'm just really grateful to be wrestling such amazing, nice people.
Yeah. And where can we find that match? You know, for all the listeners and viewers today, where can we find it?
I have links. I have a link on my Instagram page and it says matches. I don't know when the Nyla match is coming out. It was on a company called Dropkick Depression. I don't know when that'll be out. I have a clip on my Instagram, but when it's out, I will definitely post about it.
Nice. And I will retweet too. Yeah, for sure, man.
Thank you very much.
That's amazing. What a way to start. You just like, yeah, I wrestled Nyla Rose, you know, one of the best AEW women to ever do it, right? So far. Good stuff, yeah. And so how about, you know, staying with the present for now, like how about your whole dynamic with Angelo Carter and the network?
We were talking about this in training, all three of us kind of just like gravitated towards each other. And me and Angela were like, that'd be funny if we were like a stable, right? LOL. Anyway. And then like one day, like the owner of our school came up to us and he was like, yeah, okay, cool, group. And we were like, yay! like I'm so grateful that like I like them and we're friends, because, you know, you hear stories of tag teams hating each other and it's just like awkward and not fun. But like we all actually like love each other so much. And me and Angelo tag more together. And like the Young Bucks were my favorite tag team before I started wrestling. And then I got into wrestling and I was like, wow, FTR is amazing. And I remember texting Angelo, we need to study FTR. So like, we like almost every day I'm watching an FTR match. But like me and Angelo, it's to the point now where we're starting to not finish each other's sentences, but we're starting to become like where we have the same ideas and stuff. And it's just great being able to work with someone who you like and like who you're really close with. But it's been amazing. I love him. I love both of them.
Yeah, and the other member, I have to apologize. I forget her name, but Angela was saying that she's been on SmackDown, you know, recently.
Tiara, yeah, she is.
Tiara, right?
She's on SmackDown. She is so good. So I don't, because you're gonna have her on, so I don't want to like tell her story, but I
haven't approached her yet, but yeah, I hope to be able to. Yeah,
she did not grow up a wrestling fan. She would watch. We bonded about Total Divas because we both love Total Divas, but she kind of watched Total Divas, and I respect her so much, because to be like, I'm not really, I didn't grow up watching wrestling. Like, I like it, so let me just go and train. Like, that's crazy to me. And she progressed so quickly. Like, I remember her first day to now, and she's doing so well. She's one of the hardest workers I know. She's training almost every single day. SmackDown, WWR, like she's a superhero. Like she's amazing.
I've got to be honest, I'm quite jealous of the people who seem to, approach wrestling and they're just a sponge and they just absorb it all so quick. Whereas for me, like 10 years ago, I was doing the wrestling training and I'm terrible. Like I was so bad. I couldn't even do a snapmare, right?
Properly. It's so hard. Every single thing is so hard. And I feel like a lot of wrestling fans who have not stepped into a ring watch amazing people like Kenny Omega and they're like, oh, it's easy. Every single thing is hard. Rolls are everything. So like she just like the fact that she just so quickly, just naturally, some people are just naturally athletic.
Yeah, guys, that's crazy. Yeah. So let's get into some of the other things. This spiritual submitter. Yeah. I'm interested about how this moniker came about for yourself.
So I remember talking to one of my trainers a while ago, and he was basically, we were kind of going over figuring out character. And I don't know if you remember when Cena talking to Apollo or something, and Cena was like, who are you? And he was like, I don't know. That was basically like our conversation. He was like, who are you? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know who I am.
I remember that. When was that? You carry on.
I heard a story, and I think Cena was talking to someone, and Cena was just asking about his character, and he was like, I don't know who I am. And like, I just like, I felt so lost. Like I didn't know what to do. And then around that time too, wrestling wasn't making me happy. Like when Sasha left, she left WWE for like 4 or 5 months, and then they did the 24 on her, and I watched the 24, and exactly what she was saying is exactly how I was feeling, and I was like, okay, I'm not even a year in. I should probably like let me do what she did and take a break. So I took a break, and then I like kept watching her 24. And she was talking about crystals, so I started looking up crystals and stuff, and I just like, you just find one thing and then you just snowball. And it's like, it was an aha moment because everything just clicked. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can make this into something. Like, I can't really think of anyone who is spiritual and like
Right.
submit. Like, I feel like it's not something that I've heard of before, but it just like that. It was probably one of the lowest moments of my life that led to like the highest moment of my life. And now like it's just so comforting to know exactly who you are, because you don't have to question anymore when you're in a ring. Like, what, I don't know what I would do to like, okay, this is my character. Like I went to I think the website is called like 16 personality, something like that, where you take,
I've heard about this.
I was looking through that. I was like, okay, this is my personality. Like it snowballed, and it worked out so well. So now I have this like really interesting character that has so many layers to her, and I'm so excited to dive in.
Sure. And on your Twitter, your Twitter banner, I really like that. Have you had a chance? I got to ask though first. Have you had a chance to see Doctor Strange 2?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I won't tell you why it stood out to me. Then I'll just say it's great.
I will message you after I see it. I'll be like, oh my god.
It's really cool. Who did you get to commission that? Because is that a drawing? It's amazing.
I got it from Pinterest. I didn't. I'll probably.
It's not you then. Okay. I thought it was like a fan. You're like one of your fans, maybe. Like,
no.
Just drew this.
At some point, I'll definitely get like that, because I have so many like ideas for merchandise and stuff. But like, I was just like, I have a whole. I love Pinterest so much. I have like a bunch of folders on like my character and stuff like that. So, it was really pretty, and just like crystals and like third eye and spirituality. There's so much in there.
Yeah, I thought it was just gonna be like, because on Twitter you get people who are like, oh, I just did a 5-minute doodle and it's the best thing you've ever seen. I thought maybe like a 10-minute doodle, and 5-minute shading. Whatever. Nice one. All right. So your current, the way your style, I guess, at the moment in a wrestling ring, who's inspired you the most at this point? Who do you find yourself watching the most in the big products to inspire your style?
Zack Sabre Jr.
Zack Sabre Jr. There you go.
I love me some. I love British wrestling so much. I love New Japan. I currently have it on, right? I just always have New Japan or British wrestling on for tag team stuff, FTR. But I'm trying to remember. I always knew Zach, but I forgot what match it was. But I really started to get into him more 2019. And
I remember watching him a lot when he was wrestling in the UK. Like when I started to one of the best to ever do it in the UK for sure.
So good, so smooth, like, and this like the way him and like Danielson, the way they mesh like BJJ and stuff into their wrestling. So I was watching a promo that Zach did, and he was like, yeah, shout out Williamsburg MMA. And I was like, sounds like that's in Brooklyn. And I looked it up, and it was like 30 minutes away from me. So went to Williamsburg MMA. I found a guy that Zach trained with, and I took a couple BJJ classes. I definitely have to go back soon, but just like learning like the actual like I'm a very like I need to know why I'm doing something before I do it. Just like, and like listening, his name is Diego, listening to, he would drop like life lessons in there, like just talking about how like for BJJ, I don't know much about it, but just from what he said and what I picked up, just like try not to force something, because when you force something, and in life, when you force something, it usually doesn't work. So you just kind of have to go with the flow. And that translated for me into wrestling. And now I'm just in life a much more calm person. But I'm just like, if I remember in training when I would want to try something so bad and it wouldn't work out, but I'd still want to try it. And then I just look stupid. And it's like, girl, like if it's not working, just move on and do something else. But yeah, Zach, I love technical wrestling. I love British wrestling, like going back and watching Johnny Saints. But yeah, Zack Sabre Jr., Kenny Omega.
Oh, of course. How can you not talk about Omega?
Right. In a lot of people's opinion, but in my opinion, I think he's the best wrestler like ever.
And I think he's the best guy to ever like mesh video games with wrestling too.
He does it so well. It's so geared. Yeah. Who else? I mean, like Ethan Page too. When I got into wrestling, I really realized how much I liked simple and clean. Like I flippy backflips, all that stuff is great. I like people who are clean. Like I wrestled at Blitzkrieg with Angela, was his manager, and after I got to watch Ethan Page and Alec Price. And there was a moment Alec Price jumped up and did something, and Ethan Page just clothesline. Good. I jumped out. I was like, yes, like just simple stuff like that, right. Because I feel like it can be so glossed over, because that's like one of the first things you learn to do. So just simple, you can make it look so good. I love stuff like that.
Nice. Good stuff. Yeah. I also, if you're enjoying your BJJ stuff, I actually I had JD Griffey, who's been on AEW. On the pod, and he's like a complete practitioner of it. You know, he uses all that. He even wears the MMA gloves in his fights, which is really cool. He was a really great guy to talk to. Definitely worth checking out some of his matches. I would recommend too if you want to learn more about that style. Yeah. So as you're first I'll ask about. So where do you train at the moment, like full time? You know.
So I train at TQT Academy with Angelo and the network and everybody. I've been training almost for 2 years, I think, and I should probably know this, but I don't remember. September or October will be 2 years, and then I think June will be a year since I fully started doing shows. That sounds wrong, but whatever. But yeah, I train with Logan Black, Brother Greatness used to train us, MV Young used to train us, freaking Willow used to train us. Like we had
Willow, Willow Nightingale, right?
Yeah. Just like I've been so fortunate and blessed to be trained by such like amazing people and learning so much at such a high level.
Yeah. So let's do a little hypothetical scenario right now. Let's say you're training one day. You're running the ropes.
Okay.
Doing some flip bumps. If you're like me, maybe trying to do a snapmare and you're failing. And then, you wouldn't be. I would. And then let's say that, let's say you said 2 years. So let's say 18-year-old you, 18-year-old you walks through the door. Right. Well, so what's going through her mind from what you can remember? And if you had the chance to approach her and chat with her at any point, what's the biggest piece of advice you would give her?
I would tell her to calm the fuck down and take a deep breath. Literally would have panic attacks in the ring. We'd go to training Monday and Wednesday. Every Monday and Wednesday I'd have panic attacks in the ring. Like I was such an anxious person, and I don't know why, because training, like my trainer would say this constantly, like there are no stakes here. If you mess up, it's fine. This is a school. You're here to learn and get better. I would literally overthink everything and like be so nervous. I would just tell her to breathe and calm down. And like when I took that break from wrestling, like not only like my mentality on wrestling changed, my mentality on the way I looked at life changed. And like I genuinely feel like spirituality and like like manifestation, all that stuff. I really like I was diagnosed with anxiety, and I really truly feel like it's gone now. Like I cannot remember the last time I had a panic attack. I literally like it was really really bad. I would just tell her to breathe and calm down, and everything is gonna be fine. Like you're fine and everything's gonna be fine.
So basically what you're saying is you would kind of see her like hyperventilating, and then you would go over and just be like, it'll be
Breathe.
okay.
Breathe. Take a deep breath. Like
she's about to pass out, and you're like, no, just breathe.
Like that's the thing. My character Indigo, she says that a lot. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Like everything is gonna be fine. Your brain is so powerful, and if in a negative headspace, it can really fuck you up. So you have to learn how to train your brain to be more positive and relax and calm down. So just breathe, deep breathe.
Yeah. Since you started having your matches, like compared to the first time, so let's have a look at like, walking out, onto the entrance ramp, seeing the crowd for the first time.
Yeah.
How do you deal with, all of the senses and all of the emotions now compared to like, aside from the hyperventilating and passing? Because I've seen so many different wrestlers, people who are friends from the UK too, that I've been friends with for a while, and I feel like everyone has a different ritual or a different pre-game plan. But let us know for you.
So I remember the first time I had to wrestle, I had to cut a promo before and then go and wrestle.
Okay.
So that was pretty nerve-wracking, but I remember it was the first thing I could think of. Sasha Banks always says it all the time. She always says, "Born to do this." And so I just started jumping up and down and just born to do this, like over and over. And every single time before I go out, like I try and like I have my little playlist that I listen to, and I stretch and I jump up and down and whatever. But like if I can't listen to music, I just right before I go out, just born to do this, born to do this, born to do this. And then when my music hits, I take a deep breath in. And then when I take that deep breath out, I am not Dylan, I am Indigo, and I go through the curtain and I do what I need to do. I have to make that like separation of like right now I am Indigo, because if I am Indigo, then I'm thinking everything she would think and I'm doing everything that she would do. But I just deep breaths, music, and just like affirmations I try to repeat in my head over and over again. And then at that point I'm kind of just like, okay, I'm fine.
Would you say that Indigo is you turned up to 11? That's what I like to ask a lot.
Yeah, 100%. I'm fortunate in that my character is me, but like times 100. So it's easy. It's not like I'm like a clown or something. Like it's me. So like I can. It's easier. It's definitely easier. Yeah.
Shout out to Doink the Clown, the best to ever do it. The best clown to ever do it. So when you first started training, you said you just had Monday and Wednesday. Was your sessions. And I spoke to a British wrestler, a good friend, and he was saying there's so much more time in the week, not just Monday and Wednesday. So how are you spending the other days of the week aside from like training, just working your own body to get stronger and that and whatnot? When you first started training, how many hours, let's say, on average, were you watching wrestling when you were first starting?
I feel like the intake definitely increased. And I would have matches that like people would recommend to me that I'd write down, or what I've been doing lately is going back and rewatching matches that I used to just watch as a fan, and now I'm watching it in a different way. But like, there's so many hours in a week. I really want to start training more. I still do Mondays and Wednesdays, and then now Fridays, Saturdays I'll go wrestle. But I'm in the gym. I try to be in the gym almost every single day. And I'm definitely like, I try not to, I try not to let wrestling completely take over my life. So like if I'm not in the mood to watch wrestling, I'm not watching wrestling, but like there'll be days where I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit down and watch this Bret Hart match, or I'm going to sit down and rewatch this Johnny Gargano match, and I'm going to take notes on everything. But like yeah, I definitely, sooner than later, it's going to be Mondays and Wednesdays wrestling, and then another day going to BJJ, and then like wrestling and working out.
Yeah. I mean, that shows the passion right there from you just saying you want to be in the gym every day. And then you say, you don't want the wrestling to like overtake your life. But I do believe that the people who make it the biggest, who become the greatest of all time, who reach that, not to use Roman Reigns' thing, but the people who reach the God mode status.
The God status,
yes. The people, he obviously at one point, the light just went off in his head and he's like, I have to do this all the time. This has to be my entire life.
Yes. Yeah, it's just finding that balance, because I think what made me, what I related to Sasha with was just the balance. Like it seemed like for Sasha there was no balance there. Like she was like, she heard Sasha more than she heard her actual name for, like she said, like 7 years, something crazy like that. And I just felt like, you have to find other things you like. Like my trainer says all the time, keep one foot in wrestling and one foot somewhere else. Like you need to have a balance, because like wrestling, it wasn't making me happy, and it was really scaring me, because it's like I want to wrestle like as a professional thing. So like it just obviously it's a huge thing in my life and I love it, but like, you have to have times where you step back and you're like, I'm also into Marvel, and I'm also into video games and Drag Race and like all this other stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just about finding the balance.
It's interesting you say that, actually, because I had the 3 different podcasts. I'd love to get you on a Marvel or a gaming episode too, for sure. And then I'd love to one day, I don't know, maybe just take all 3 of my podcasts and just blur them all into one. And then it's just like, just have this background and just have a third is a wrestling ring, the third is like Captain America, and the third is, and it's just, and it's just like multiverse style, it's just it's like Spider-Man, Spider-Man into the thing, and it's just crossed. Awesome. Okay, let's go all the way back. And I want to get your thoughts about, and your memories about how you came to know about wrestling. What was like your earliest experiences of pro wrestling?
My dad was a wrestling fan, and I remember I watched like Total Divas a bit, and then I was like, I might as well watch like what they're doing. And my first memory, so I watched Raw the week after the Shield broke up. So I missed everything. You missed
the greatest stable to ever do it in the modern era. Yeah.
I remember my earliest memory was seeing Roman Reigns on a fake hospital bed being like, I will be back, believe that. And I was like, huh? And then I saw John Cena and I was like, oh, he's colorful. Let me watch him. And then I saw
looks like a big bowl of Cheerios, or Bootios, or whatever it was from the New Day. Yeah.
And then I saw the Bella Twins, and I was like, oh my gosh, girls are wrestling. That's crazy. And then my first pay-per-view was I don't know why I'm blinking right now. SummerSlam, and I was very invested in the Bella Twins versus Stephanie McMahon storyline. I feel like I was the only one invested. And when
everybody else was asleep,
everybody else was like, this was awful, and I was like, this is great. And then when Nikki turned on Brie and punched Brie in the face, I remember running to the bathroom and crying for 10 minutes. And then my dad was like, this is fake. And I was like, are you sure? What does that mean? I don't know what you're talking about.
You got told that early. Yeah, it took me a good few years before I even realized it was.
Yeah. I was so invested in that entire storyline, and looking back now, I'm like, yeah, no, that was not the best storyline ever, but that was what got me into it. And then I remember the draft when Sasha and Charlotte and Becky were brought up, and I knew nothing about NXT, so I was like, okay, that's when I started going back and watching NXT. And once again, I started watching like right after the pay-per-view when Ciampa turned on Johnny, and I was like, I keep missing everything. But
then thank God for the network, right? Because you can just go back and catch up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, it wasn't live, but I was there. I do wish, and we just talked about, when we realized that wrestling was fake, and I do wish I could go back. I do wish I could go back to a time when I thought it was real, and I say that because it was like a year or two ago, and I was back in the UK, and we were watching just like an episode. It was like me and my mum were just watching an episode of Raw, and I was just showing her a little bit what was going on. And then, but I tell you what, my mum's reactions were like how I used to react to it as a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and my mum was like, "Oh, Randy Orton is such a bad man." It's like, how could he do that to him? And I'm like, yeah, this is a great storyline. And she's like, a storyline? I thought this was real. It's so adorable, honestly.
It's the instant. I miss that. There are not many moments now that like I'm a wrestler, it's like it's completely like the walls are down. I really miss that innocence. I'm like, I think that's why I really like FTR so much, because like I feel like there are really few and far in between moments where I like jump out of my seat at this point, and like Dax and Cash make me like jump out of my seat and react, and like I do miss that innocence of just like thinking
being
like,
completely invested.
Completely. Right, yeah.
I even remember like, and this was maybe before I realized before I'd had the curtain pulled back, and I remember like, oh man, and it was like the first ever like VHS tape, right, that I had with wrestling on. And it was this match with, I want to say, Texas Tornado and Mr. Perfect, I believe it was.
Okay.
And Texas Tornado, if I'm wrong, everyone can crap all over me. But
right.
Texas Tornado had this, like, his leg was bandaged up. And Mr. Perfect, throughout the match he took the bandage off bit by bit, and he's working more and more on the leg. And I'm like, ooh, no! I'm like, no. It's gonna be sore for a month. Oh, and I'm like, yeah, of course. Once you know it's, and I don't really like using the word fake. Like, as soon as you know it's scripted,
it's
still painful as hell. I invite anyone who thinks it's not painful to take a power bomb, like I have, and then not wake up sore for a month.
That power bomb allegation. Woo! Yeah, no, that did not feel scripted. It just like I'm trying to think the last storyline that I really felt like I was truly invested in was fully invested in was Gargano and Ciampa. I like that. That was amazing. Like on social media when Ciampa wouldn't even at John, he would just like say at and then write his name. Like just it was done so well. And like I remember a point where Ciampa's theme song was booze. Like that, I don't know if anyone could ever do that. That was beautiful. And I was at one of the takeovers screaming my head off, like boom! Like it's so fun to just be fully invested like that.
Sure. I mean, and I'm not gonna lie, even though everyone loves to boo him, and me too, I can't help but just love MJF and what he does, really, even though I love to boo him. Yeah. even on Twitter, anything he posts, I'll just try and shit all over him with a tweet, you know what I mean? And sometimes I get a bit of a reaction, and it's great.
I was talking to my friend about that earlier. I feel like he's the best at he knows what he's doing. He knows how to carry himself. Like, I don't know. He's hilarious. Like there was the clip that was going around where he was like, yeah, video games. I love video games. I love video games. And then I got laid, and I don't know. I just like, it's not highbrow comedy, but it's hilarious. It's so funny. He's so entertaining.
Do you believe he should stay, because he's always talking about like, oh, every company wants, he's doing his typical thing. He's like, everybody wants me at the same time, but I can only be in one place. Do you believe he should remain in AEW at least for another couple of years? Or do you think do you think he'll want to just go to like WWE straight away Or definitely not Impact. I don't think he should go there. That'd be a bad idea. But do you think he should go to WWE?
I think he should definitely stay in AEW for a bit. I was talking to my friend about this yesterday. Just they need pillars. Like they were talking about the 4 pillars, the 5 pillars, including grit. They need pillars. They need because Kenny, I really don't think he's gonna be back for the rest of the year because this man had vertigo and like he couldn't move, like in pain. Like you have to start to build up wrestlers to the point where when other wrestlers start to leave or take breaks and filter out, you have other people
main event spots. Yeah,
exactly. So like I definitely feel like MJF is definitely, he's gonna be there like sooner than later. But I think he should definitely. I think AEW is perfect for him. I think he should stay there for a bit.
I believe he's the one to take the belt off Cowboy. I believe MJF is going to be up there. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Sooner rather than later. How many times have you been to an AEW event live? And will you be looking to maybe try and get to Vegas? I know that's in a few weeks.
Funny you say that. I'm actually going to AEW with my friend tomorrow. I'm so excited. I went to, I don't remember when. The first one I went in Jersey. The second one I went when they went to Arthur Ashe Stadium, where it was Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson. That 30-minute, like that.
The 60-minute, right? Yeah,
literally, that opened up the show, and after I was tired. I'm like, we still have to sit through more of that, and then they also like they filmed Rampage on that day too, so like it was so much wrestling. I was tired, but like we're going tomorrow and I'm so excited. I was before this, so you know how Wheeler Yuta, his new gear is like the blood splattered.
I do like it. Yeah. It's a good look.
So I'm very much into fashion, and I was trying to think like, what am I gonna wear? And I found this like high fashion couture corset, and it's like thousands of dollars, so I'm not buying it. But it had like, it had blood splattered all over, and I was like, oh my gosh, this looks like Yuta's like gear. So I bought a white corset, and I was just like splattering like red paint on it. So I was doing that earlier, and I'm gonna finish that later. But yeah, I'm going to AEW tomorrow to answer your question.
Nice one, yeah. So let's say if you're at one of these AEW events, or you're at a WWE event even, and let's say you get a chance to go backstage. Yeah. Hypothetically, okay. It could happen one day. Dream big. And let's say obviously if it's AEW, it's Tony Khan, and if it's WWE, it's Vince. Top dog, right? And they come up to you and they start having a conversation with you, right? And let's say you got a guy behind Vince or Tony timing you. He's timing you now, and you get to ask. I'll say you get to ask 2 questions. So what are you asking Vince, and what are you asking Tony?
Oh my god! Yikes! Oh no! And I'm timed. Oh,
and you're timed, yeah. You got the guy, every second he's tapping his wrist.
Tony, what is he looking for in a wrestler? What is he looking? But Vince too, I guess. Same question. What are they looking for in a wrestler? Just overall, I feel like that's a very like general. What stands out to you and all that stuff, and. What do you think makes a wrestler have longevity? Because I feel like those are 2 very big things that few wrestlers can do. But when like Jericho, he is so good at staying relevant. I mean, I feel like not many wrestlers can do that. So just like, what are they looking for, and what makes a wrestler like have longevity?
Cool. There you go. Good stuff.
I really didn't know what I was going to say.
And I think, just speaking there about WWE and AEW, and that brings us nicely into our trivia time.
No, I'm going to be so bad at this. I'm going to be so bad at this.
If you know the show, then you'll know in the last few episodes, I've been doing trivia of all different kinds of topics.
Yeah.
Just as well on Google, before we get started with the trivia, just a funny question. There was 4 questions that people put on Google. Is Zack Sabre Jr. vegan? What's happened? Wait, it's like the second one. What happened to Zack Sabre Jr.? He's still wrestling, right? Yeah. The next one. How old is Zack Sabre? And then next one, funniest one. Next one is WWE a wrestling? That's it. That's the question. Is WWE a wrestling?
Is it? I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know.
That's the big question, Indigo. Is it?
Those Google questions that are like, how is blank is so funny to me because like you're not gonna. I don't know what answer you think you're gonna get. Like him being like, I'm fine. Thanks so much for asking. Like,
is it? Yeah. Is it a wrestling or is it a sports entertainment? Who knows?
Right. Which one is it?
All right, here we go. Okay, so Indigo, your special, super special, amazing topic for trivia. And we're dancing now, we're having a good time because you can probably hear the music, yeah? All right, so your topic today on this edition of the Tapping Out podcast, and of course, if you would like to join for the gaming or the Marvel in the future, then it would be completely different. Yeah. Definitely. All right, so your topic is, can you name the person after 2 clues who have been in both AEW and WWE? Then you're shaking your head.
Because I can't. I can't try. I'm probably not.
You're shaking your head, but yeah. I wanted to keep it to AEW just because it's been around, a lot less time.
Yeah.
And you have so much potential, and you're still new to it too. So yeah, I feel like you and AEW are on the same path. So one day you're gonna collide. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully. All right. So here we go. You ready?
No. Go ahead.
All right, number 1, yeah, and we'll keep a little tally in our head as we go along. Number 1, this man is, or should I say, this man was the WWE Perfect 10, and he is now the AEW chairman.
Sean Spears.
Ding ding, correct. It's just as easy as that, yeah. It's as easy as that. Okay. All right.
Hyperventilate, man. It's coming back.
All right, next one, okay? Next one. Okay. He was a WWE legend with a reptile, and he is now the AEW coach of Lance Archer.
Because I know his name, but I forgot his name.
We saw him.
Roberts.
Yes, got it. I was going to give you another clue. Yeah, good
like,
stuff.
Snake.
2-0. Good stuff, yeah. All right, next one, okay? He was a WWE Wyatt family member, and he is the AEW, sorry, I should say he was the AEW Exalted One of Dark Order.
Brody Lee.
Correct. Very good. 3-0 and rest in peace, Brody Lee. Okay. Okay, next one. Ooh. Okay, next one. I didn't even know. Okay, anyway. Next one. Sorry. ECW superstar turned former WWE superstar. And then it also says ECW superstar turned limited AEW superstar. This is where I'm going to slip you up because I didn't even know he was in both. But okay, until I saw this list.
Oh, ECW is not my. It's not my place. Oh man.
I'll give you another clue. Oh, okay. Think about for his last name. Think about sleeping. And what you do when you're asleep. And in ECW, he used a hell of a lot of different weapons. He was like the most extreme, I think, out of all of them.
I know people screaming right now. Screaming at the screen. Oh my gosh.
I'll give you another clue. When you sleep and you have nightmares or things that are bad or things that are good, called what when you're asleep?
Dream? No?
Yeah, well, the last name Dreamer. What's his first name?
Oh my God, Tommy, Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
I'll give you 0.5 for that, yeah? So you're 3.5, okay?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, yeah. 3.5, okay, so you're 3.5 out of, that's 4 questions so far. Okay, you're doing well. You're doing good. Okay, next one. Next one, yeah. Former WWE ring announcer and current AEW ring announcer.
Ring announcer, not commentator.
Ring announcer, yes.
Ring announcer. Why am I thinking just
3.5 out of 4. It's not far. That's good. That's good. That's a 95%. Yeah.
It's not Justin Roberts, right? I don't know why I'm thinking of it.
It is. Correct.
It is? Oh, wow.
Ding, ding.
Look at me. Look at me go.
Yeah, good one. Good one. So, yeah, 4.5 out of 5. Yeah. Good stuff.
Okay.
All right. Do you want 1 or 2 more? How are you feeling at the moment?
Give me 2. I might as well embarrass myself. Give me
2 more. Okay. All right. All right. I'll go. Okay. All right. Next one.
Mm-hmm.
King of the WWE Cruiserweights in his time. Current AEW bastard.
Pack.
Got it. Nice one. 5.5 out of 6. As a big cargo would do, yeah. All right, and last one, yeah. Can you end with a 95% average? All right, so your last one. Former WWE 4 Horsemen member, current coach of AEW Elite member.
I am going. Oh no, this is so bad. I'm literally gonna embarrass myself. Yeah, my dad is single. I know.
If your dad's watching, yeah, Indigo's dad. If you're watching, yeah, I bet you're screaming too.
So I don't want to say a name and like it. I
think of the member. Really, you tapping out?
Yeah, I don't want to say a name, and then you're gonna be like, "What is wrong with you?" Let go. Let me see if I was right. Speak. Go.
The Enforcer, AA, and Anderson.
Okay. I don't want to say like somebody, and you're like, "What the fuck? Do you know wrestling?" Okay.
Did you even know wrestling?
Trivia,
oh boy, 5.5 out of 7. as we conclude here. What's that as a percentage? Yeah. Just give us your thoughts on the quiz that you enjoyed while I find out your score here.
Trivia stresses me out. I literally I don't know. I'm not good with names of moves, but if you show me, I'll be like, oh, okay. Or like, I just like, ooh, yikes. Like I'll be like I do a weave through kick. And it's called like weave through kick, but like Tai Chi does it. So I'm like, okay, I'll do my Tai Chi kick. Like it's never what it's actually called. Like I just call it what the person does it as.
All right, just as we end trivia here, then we'll go back to that. As we end the trivia, your score to 3 decimal places is 78.571%. That's a first, right? In degrees.
Reminds me of school. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I passed. This is good.
And as the as the men of the year would do, trivia's over. Good stuff. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Good stuff. Okay. Let's go back to that. So if Excalibur was if he was calling a match of yours, would he call it the Tai Chi kick, or would he give it a different name? Because Excalibur's a complete wealth of knowledge.
Yeah. I have names for my moves, but I guess no one asked me, so the weave.
Well, here we are.
Nobody asked me. So I want to call it the Over the Rainbow because my name is a color, and I'm like, okay, and it's like a cool. Do you see the vision?
Yeah.
So yeah, Over the Rainbow or OTR. I feel like that's
OTR. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indigo going for the OTR kick. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It sounds good. It's clean.
Nice one. All right. And last one before we move into the conclusion and the future for a little bit there. So Indigo, right now, as we are the Tapping Out podcast, what's your favorite submission move?
I love a good triangle choke. I don't know why. I just love a good triangle choke.
Triangle choke, yeah. Hell's Gate, yeah. Hell's Gate, nice. Good choice.
Disgusting. It looks so good. I love it.
For me, I tell you what, and I still whether it's being done in UFC or WWE, AEW, Kimura. It just looks to me
of course.
Kimura just always looks the absolute worst, no matter what kind of angle or anything.
Disgusting. Did you see when Lesnar did it to Roman and he popped his shoulder out, so they had to
he did it for real. You know, he was doing it in script like Triple H and stuff, and then with Reigns, he actually pops his shoulder.
God, you gotta calm down a bit, bro. You gotta chill. Like, I know you're Lesnar, but
Brock's
you got
face, your Brock's face, like the meme, like the meme. Roman's like, calm down, mate, calm down.
Please stop, please. Stop.
And he still won. Well, yeah, they had to finish it. Yeah, he still won. God mode. Right. Of course. And then he's right back in the gym. Yeah, after WrestleMania Backlash, I saw him on TikTok or Instagram. Right back in the gym, man. 2 days later.
God mode, baby. I was like, yes, God, let's go.
All right, nice one. And that brings us, into the future. What's next for Roman Reigns? But more importantly, Indigo, who's he got left to fight? I have no idea. But more importantly, for this podcast, is what's next for you, Indigo, as we look to the future?
Well, I have so many things I want to do. My main goal is I want to be technically not the first woman, but technically the first woman to be an active part of the New Japan Pro Wrestling roster. Like, I want to be there for years, and I want to wrestle I want to wrestle everybody. I want to be the first female member of the Bullet Club. I want to be a co-leader with Jay White. I have so many ideas in my head. So much I want to do, but I really want to be in Japan and New Japan and Stardom. And I want to move to the UK. I want to wrestle in the UK for a couple years.
You have trouble sleeping at night? I feel like you would. Because I'm the same, even for ideas for this podcast, even when I'm thinking about doing the trivia and whatever, I'm asleep. Yeah. I can't shut off. Do you know what I mean?
There have been times where I'm like, it's 2 a.m. and I'm laying down, and then I just start calling an entire match in my head, or I'm like, oh, this storyline with Jay White would be really good, and then it's 3 a.m.
and I'm like, 3 a.m. It's like,
Yeah, I have so many. My notes app is my best friend, and my little wrestling notebook. I think I'm on my third one now, because I just scribble. I have so many ideas. I have Instagram captions written down for pictures that I want to take for storylines happening years later. I'm very detail oriented, and it definitely keeps me motivated when I'm very much I know what I want to do down to the minutia of everything. So it just keeps me very, very focused. But New Japan Pro Wrestling is definitely people want to go to WWE, AEW. I want to go to New Japan. I want to be there for years, and then go to AEW.
Yeah, you want to travel the world, right? And it's definitely possible. If you can go back through, and you can another one you could listen to is one of my good friends and pro wrestlers in the UK, Nathan Cruz is his name, and he had the chance to wrestle in countless countries. Because of this job that you're wanting to get involved with. So
I love learning. I just love learning. I feel like if you're not learning in life, then you're not living. I just want to take in every single possible thing. Getting into wrestling, there was a point where I was like, okay, I want to be a wrestler. And then I saw Kenny Omega, and I was like, okay, I want to be the best wrestler in the world. When I do something, I put everything into the corset. I bought a corset, and I'm I'm not just shirt and jeans. No, when I do something, I go full out. So I want to go. I feel like the only way to be able to do that is to travel everywhere and to go to different countries and just learn everything.
Nice one, yeah. And final question before we wrap up. Indigo, at this point in your short but full of promise, let's say, short but full of promise wrestling career, what are you most grateful for?
The people that I'm around. I have yet. I mean, you get people here and there who talk about you and just don't want you to succeed, but they never stay around you for too long if you're not on the same vibration and level as them. I'm spiritual, so I'm very much into you attract who you are. Your friends around you, the people who are around you constantly, that's who you are. And I'm just around, not to put myself over, I'm great. So I'm around like great people all the time, but just being around people who are just like, being around people who are just so amazing and nice and just only want the best for you. And, having people who are into wrestling, but just making lifelong friends who, like, when you're down, they're there for you. It's just so nice to be around people who are just motivated and just want the best for you.
Well said, yeah. A very, very popular answer. I've heard that a lot, but to be honest, it never gets old hearing it from so many people. Yeah. And as we come to the conclusion, once again, I want to say thank you very much for joining the pod today, Indigo. It's been amazing. And now the floor is yours. Now it's time, and you can share all your social media links, which I will put in the descriptions too. And what have you got coming up in the very near future? The floor is yours.
So all of my my Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube is Indigo Dietrich. I'm mostly on Instagram the most. I'm on TikTok, but on TikTok I don't really post wrestling stuff. I more post like Marvel and like DC. So if you're into that, then you can follow me there. And all the links to like everything is in my Instagram bio. But yeah, just follow me and like all my stuff because I need it. Yeah. Give me likes and give me follow.
I need it. I need your love and admiration. Yeah, there you go. Well said. Go follow, like, and subscribe all of her stuff on social media. Thank you once more, and all the best for 2022 and beyond. Thanks very much. And as always, not just thank you to Indigo for joining me here on the show today, but of course, thank you to yourself for watching and listening too. I really appreciate any and all support. And of course, if you enjoyed what you saw today, then please leave a like, write a comment, both really great ways to support the channel. And of course, you can also subscribe and ring-a-ding the notification bell. All of those ways help to push my videos up in the YouTube algorithm. With all that being said, it's time to end. Thank you so much once again for watching and listening, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Tapping Out podcast.